heading to Asheville, North Carolina over the weekend, just where you'd expect to see that snow up in the mountains.
But I know what everybody really wants to know is this just a tease of what we could maybe see a little farther to the south?
Yeah, a lot of people in the south love snow. It's just a statement of fact, not everybody loves the snow.
Included, Dr. Nab, of course.
Just saying.
Now, some people would say, yes, let's get some snow, or maybe not, let's hold off on that. Now, the models, they've been going back and forth. Are you going to settle in now?
Yeah, so the big question is this going to be the end of the world as we know it? I mean, is there going to be southern snow?
The will it or won't it has us on the edge of our seats. We're going to break it all down for you, starting to see some trends. So we'll let you know what we're thinking. We know what you're thinking. We welcome you into Weather Unfiltered here on this Monday. I'm Alex Olson with Mike Bettis and Dr.
I didn't say anything.
Love snow. It was just emanating from you. It's a vibe.
Maybe part of the reason I'm smiling is because the trend in the models is a little bit less.
North,
but could that change in the next run? Could that change by tomorrow? We're going to tell you how to prepare given those uncertainties.
All good information. We start with places that get more snow opportunities coming through this week. It's Wednesday that offers up the afternoon snow showers. Tomorrow, pretty mild, temps near 50, sunshine. And look at Thursday highs behind our snow showers, 16. That is going to be your high temperature with lows around 5. Big changes ahead. We do have some accumulating snow coming to those western North Carolina mountain locations. So as is common, Asheville sees very little. You get up into elevation, that's where you're going to see at least some light accumulations. A lot of spots in that 1 to 3 inch range, but there could be some spots, looks like Haywood or Swain counties that see some of those 3 to 5+ inch totals, but those are fewer and far between. Timing looks like this. Wednesday morning, we've got the rain moving through parts of the Ohio Valley, swinging into sections of the southeast by the afternoon. So here's 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Knoxville, Chattanooga, Huntsville, Birmingham, all getting in on the rain. Atlanta, you're going to see some rain showers. Asheville, some passing light snow showers. Again, not expected to accumulate. Meanwhile, the higher elevations right along the Tennessee-North Carolina state line into the Smokies, that's where you will get some accumulating snow. They're not going to be huge amounts, but they will be some. Again, most areas in that 1 to 3 inch range with some spots locally higher. Also the mountains of West Virginia picking up on some snow. Snowfall compared to average season to date. Charleston, West Virginia running a bit above average, as is Roanoke. Asheville, you're a bit below average. 3.5 inches, in fact, below average. A place like Raleigh, you've only seen 1/10 of an inch of snow. That puts you a little over an inch, almost an inch and a half below average. Mike?
Well,
take you to Cleveland, where we've got some snow on tap for the weekend. Looking good this evening, 35. You can see the city, so we don't have blinding snow right now compared to other weeks where, man, we've looked at this camera and you can't make out much of anything. But let's take you to the weekend here as we look towards the northern tier. Now, Cleveland, you did have snow yesterday, a little over 1¼ inches. Snowfall since the start of the winter, I guess it was the start of the snow season. I know you're like, July 1st? Well, second half of last year, 23 inches. That's a deficit of 0.1. So we're right on track for where we would expect to be in the snowfall season here in the Cleveland area. In Cleveland, more opportunities for snow coming Friday night, and Saturday. Snow showers through the period. Temps rising to the upper 20s for highs, mid-20s for lows. The exception Saturday night, that's when the bottom drops out on us. That's when we drop to 12 degrees. European model focusing some of the heavier snow into portions of Indiana and Michigan, also up through northern sections of Minnesota. But for most of the region, it would be a light to moderate snow Thursday through Saturday afternoon. So pretty manageable, especially for this part of the country. Then we look at the GFS model. And again, generally light to moderate snow across the board. There would be areas across the northern Great Lakes, so Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP of Michigan, where we could see some of those heavier amounts, and some heavier amounts coming off Lake Michigan into western parts of lower Michigan. So again, for many of these areas, a manageable snowfall, given how snowy some of these cities are. So we look at our forecast right now. Thursday afternoon into the overnight, we start to see the snow picking up into western sections of the Great Lakes. By Friday lunchtime, we've got snow falling for many. Again, snow showers are what we're expecting, so light to moderate snow at times. Entire system continues to shift east Friday into Saturday, Saturday into Sunday, and you can see some of that lingering lake effect across parts of especially lower Michigan, but central New York, western New York as well. By the time all is said and done, at 11 o'clock, o'clock on Sunday. Still maybe a little lake effect coming off of Erie and Ontario, but most areas winding down. So that's why the snowfall totals are between Thursday and Sunday. Here's our forecast. So a blend of our two forecast models. Again, for most of the region, Dr. Nab thinking a light to moderate, very manageable snow. Some heavier areas would include north central New York and then western parts of lower Michigan. And of course, those snow favored areas like the UP of Michigan.
Okay, Alex.
That is going to provide the lake effect snow when you get the cold air moving over those relatively warmer lakes. When the lakes are open, we generally have, now again, not warm enough to swim in by any means, but warmer than the air or than ice cover would be. All right, so 1994 to 2023, these are the number of lake effect snow events that we've seen for Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. So you can see things really start to pick up during the month of November, December, January, very active. February and March, we see less. And a lot of that is because many times Erie freezes over. Erie is a much more shallow lake than Ontario. So usually by late January, we start to see a frozen Lake Erie or a lot of Lake Erie frozen. And it's just Ontario that continues through the later part of the winter months. Snowfall totals, you can see Ontario's going to do its thing. You can see Erie's going to do its thing. Tonight through Friday, could see some 5 to 8 totals coming off, 5 to 8 inch totals coming off the Great Lakes from parts of northeast Ohio through southwest New York and then central and North Country, New York. So a lot of 3 to 5, 5 to 8 inch amounts in those favorable areas. Also notice Lake Michigan, the eastern side of Lake Michigan and western lower Michigan. Some higher totals there, as well as the UP of Michigan coming off Lake Superior. Mike, Pennsylvania, where we're hosting football tonight, and I know you're wondering what the forecast holds. Well, this week we've got a little bit of everything. We've got rain going over to snow in western Pennsylvania, and I think a lot of us this time of year, especially given the temperatures, would much rather see this than the previous precip type. Now tomorrow in Pittsburgh, we've got a high of 50 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Again, pretty mild by mid-January standards. Thursday, oh boy, buckle up because things are changing. Cloudy skies and a temperature of 19. That is your high temperature for Thursday. Snowfall this month, 2.3 inches. Snowfall since the start of the season, 21.2 inches. That puts us at a surplus of 6 inches. So western Pennsylvania has done well with the snowfall. And when we look at the second half of the week, when snow comes back in, not going to see much in the way of accumulations around Pittsburgh. You get up towards Butler, the I-80 corridor. That's where we could see some 1 to 2 inch amounts. Also for the Laurel Highlands, some 1 to 3 inch amounts over that way. Timing looks like this. So early in the week is quiet, so shouldn't have problems tonight. What we do have is rain coming in for your Wednesday morning drive, so that may slow down your AM commute, afternoon commute. That's exactly when we expect the changeover from rain to snow to occur. Snow showers continue late Wednesday into the very early morning hours of Thursday, especially into those spots of elevation. You can see another wave of snow coming in for the end of the week. So some passing snow showers in western PA on Friday. Buffalo, similar forecast, rain and snow on Wednesday, changing over to all snow Wednesday night. That'll continue into your Thursday, cold on Thursday. Well, we take you to the forecast for the second half of the week across parts of the Ohio Valley, even getting into the south. I know there's been a lot of chatter about possible snow. The snow lovers, they want to see it, right? You want to get those snow days. Those who don't like the snow, you're hoping it stays away. Charleston, West Virginia would be a spot we'd watch. Tuesday night into Wednesday, this is going to be liquid precip, so the rain variety coming in late on Tuesday night throughout the day Wednesday. But by Wednesday night, with temperatures dropping, snow showers likely. Lows around 18, highs on Thursday only in the mid-20s. Now, that snow would extend even farther south, but you've got to be up in elevation, that is. So we've got snow accumulations likely right along the Tennessee-North Carolina state line. So up into the Smokies, those highest of elevations along that border. Many areas in the 1 to 3 inch range. Some spots may exceed that, but for most, this is not going to be, a big accumulation of snow for the second half of the week. Timing looks like this. There's the rain we mentioned in a place like Charleston, rain for Knoxville and Chattanooga, even around Atlanta, Asheville, Asheville, you'll see a little rain to snow, but it's just light snow showers. No accumulations expected. The accumulations would be limited to the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, as well as eastern West Virginia. And of course, snow is always a big deal in the South. Meteorologist Jen Carfagno has a look at some notable southern snowfall events. Go in for the same, a quiet start to the week in the city of Chicago. Love when it's all lit up. We do have opportunities for precip and for cold. Some of that, yes, will be snow. So we bring up the pillars and we show you your forecast highs each and every day. We've got, 49 coming tomorrow, 32 on Wednesday. More in the way of precip and cloud cover for the second half of the week. So Thursday still mostly sunny, but colder, highs near 25. We've got light snow into your your Friday. By Saturday, that's the cold. 17 for a high. Then we've got 15 with light snow on Sunday. Monday, partly cloudy with temps only around 12 for a high. And yes, you notice those single-digit, even low single-digit lows. So that cold air, that's going to be making headlines for a lot of you. That's going to be the talker at the water cooler. Chicago, Sunday morning low, 5 degrees. Where is that air coming from? If you guessed from way up north, you're right. It's coming up from the northern reaches of Canada. So this really, really cold air working southward. As Mike pointed out, the upper parts of the Great Lakes and the northern tier have some of the most serious cold, but obviously single-digit lows, making it towards Chicago with temps for afternoons in the teens. Going to be pretty brutal. Now, by Tuesday, tomorrow, we wake up to wind chill values in the 30s and 20s for many. Wednesday, now we're starting to see that cold sneaking in. Feels like temperature of 10 below in Duluth, 1 below in Alpena, 2 in Minneapolis. This is at noon. Now we get you into the second half of the week, and that's when that cold really starts to work in. We've got that system providing wind as well. So a 1 below your feels like temperature Thursday morning in Detroit. 4 is what it's going to feel like in Pittsburgh. Notice Thursday afternoon, not much in the way of noticeable changes. It stays frigid. And then here comes that next blast of cold air with lows Friday evening, or hourly wind chill numbers, in the low single digits in Des Moines, 10 below in Duluth, Mike.
Yeah, uncomfortable for sure. A quick shot of heavy snow in Asheville, North Carolina. Brought a little coating for you here. This happening over the weekend and where you might expect to see it up into the mountains.
Yeah, but I think what everybody really wants to know is this a preview of what's to come? Could we get some snow farther south?
I mean, it's a really good question, Alex.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the South love snow. I mean, fact is, not all of us like it, but all of us need to know if it might happen.
That's for sure. And so the forecast gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
2 different shots of snow could come in, and the models, they're changing a little bit, aren't they?
They don't even agree with themselves. What I mean is, from one run to the next of the same model, it's kind of flip-flopping. So we're going to kind of delve into what could come together to bring snow farther south in the Appalachians.
But I know we've got some excitement. I'm already hearing from people via text message. Are we going to get snow? Are we going to get snow? So the chatter is happening. We're going to break it all down for you.
We are for sure. Alex Wilson, Dr. Rick Knabb, I'm Mike Bettis. Glad you could join us here on Weather Unfiltered. There's a brief warm-up for a lot of folks, though, before that cold air gets there. So tomorrow, like in New York or D.C., it's going to feel really nice.
For one day.
Yeah.
One day.
And then
You
when
get
it gets
one
cold,
day.
it gets
And then it
really
gets cold for many days.
Yeah, and it gets really, really cold.
Yeah.
Let's take you up to in Cleveland. You've also got some snow coming your way. Not tonight. Temps around 34. You can see the clear view of the city this evening, but snow chances going up across the Great Lakes as we finish off the week and make our way into the upcoming weekend. So we'll break down some of the numbers for you. Cleveland, you had 1 inch and a third roughly of snow yesterday. Snowfall since the start of the season, about 23 inches. That puts you very much in line for average. It's a deficit of 1/10 of an inch. So we are very, very close to where we would expect to be season to date when it comes to that snowfall. Now, Cleveland, it's going to be Friday night and Saturday that bring us the chance of snow showers. I think starting up in the afternoon and evening on Friday, continuing into the day on Saturday. Behind that snow, boy, it's cold. Saturday night, lows around 12 with some lingering snow showers. European model doesn't forecast much in the way of heavy snow. You can see for most areas, this is going to be a light to moderate snow with some pockets of heavier snow coming off the lakes, especially there in western Michigan, northern parts of Indiana, as well as northern sections of the state of Minnesota. USGFS model, pretty similar. For most, it's going to be a light to moderate snow, but for some areas, those lake-favored, lake effect areas, western parts of lower Michigan, the UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, northern parts of Minnesota, that's where we could see some of those heavier snowfall amounts. So let's put it into motion, show you the whens of when we're going to see this snowfall. So we've done the who and the what and the how much, but what about the when? By Friday afternoon, we've got snow coming down across a lot of the Great Lakes, slowly shifting off to the east into Saturday. So now we get western parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and even parts of West Virginia in play. Continuing eastward, but the lake effect will continue to do its thing into the second half of the weekend. So don't be surprised if you are in one of those lake effect favored areas that you're still seeing snow for the second half of the weekend. Thursday through Sunday, this is our forecast. So a blend of our two forecast models. Again, most areas looking at light to moderate snow, some heavier amounts coming off Lake Ontario, coming off Lake Michigan into western parts of lower Michigan, the UP, northern Wisconsin, northern sections of Minnesota, some heavier totals there. But again, for most spots, this will be a pretty manageable snow event. That includes the Green Bay area where it's pretty light snow showers, light to moderate through the period. Temperatures 26 for a high on Friday. 15 as good as it gets, though, on Saturday. So very, very chilly going into the weekend, and then the wind chill makes it feel even colder. Dr. Neb, take you virtually to Pittsburgh, western Pennsylvania. You'll get some rain. That'll change over to snow. I know this time of year, especially given the temperatures, we would always prefer the snow. It can make travel a little bit more difficult, but that cold rain can be awfully miserable. So do expect some snow showers for the second half of the week in and around the Pittsburgh area. I know in the short term, you guys are all watching the game tonight. Pittsburgh tomorrow, highs near 50. So early this week, it started out on the quieter side, and temps again by mid-January standards pretty comfortable. Thursday, not the case. We've got cloudy skies, temperatures around 19 for a high. Very, very cold for the second half of the week. We've seen 2.3 inches of snow this month in the city of Pittsburgh. By the way, an average year would bring you about 44 inches. Snowfall since the start of the season, 21.2 inches. That puts us at a surplus of 6 inches, given where we are in the season. So we've been doing well across western Pennsylvania. Now, I don't expect much accumulations of snow through the second half of the week. You can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll bring snow to the Laurel Highlands. We'll bring snow to north and west Pennsylvania. Even the I-80 corridor could see an inch or two, 1 to 3 inches for some of those higher elevations. Pittsburgh, you'll see the passing snow showers. I don't expect much more than a trace of snow. By the day on Wednesday, that's when we start with the precip. Beginning is rain for the morning drive, and much of the day will bring rain, but just in time for the late day commute, we'll see that rain transitioning over to snow Wednesday evening. Still have snow, especially east of Pittsburgh. Over the day Thursday and into Friday, some passing snow showers, especially on Friday. But again, for the Pittsburgh area, this will not accumulate too much. Buffalo, you've got rain changing to snow on Wednesday. Snow showers continue Wednesday night into Thursday. Big story also for Buffalo will be the chill coming in for the second half of the week. Look at those highs. 15 on Thursday, 24 on Friday. Well, we take you to the forecast for the second half of the week across parts of the Ohio Valley, even getting into the south. I know there's been a lot of chatter about possible snow. The snow lovers, they want to see it, right? You want to get those snow days. Those who don't like the snow, you're hoping it stays away. Charleston, West Virginia would be a spot we'd watch. Tuesday night into Wednesday, this is going to be liquid precip, so the rain variety coming in late on Tuesday night, throughout the day Wednesday. But by Wednesday night, with temperatures dropping, snow showers likely. Lows around 18, highs on Thursday only in the mid-20s. Now, that snow would extend even farther south, but you've got to be up in elevation, that is. So we've got snow showers likely right along the Tennessee-North Carolina state line. So up into the Smokies, those highest of elevations along that border. Many areas in the 1 to 3 inch range. Some spots may exceed that, but for most, this is not going to be, a big accumulation of snow for the second half of the week. Timing looks like this. There's the rain we mentioned in a place like Charleston, rain for Knoxville and Chattanooga, even around Atlanta. Asheville, you'll see a little rain to snow, but it's just light snow showers. No accumulations expected. The accumulations would be limited to the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, as well as eastern West Virginia. And of course, snow is always a big deal in the south. Meteorologist Jen Carfagno has a look at some notable southern snowfall events.
It's a burst of heavy snow that brought a fresh coating for you in Asheville, North Carolina over the weekend. and likely where you'd expect to see it, right? In the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. And what everybody is now asking, though, was, is this a hint?
Right.
Is this a little harbinger of what's to come? Are we going to see snow farther south?
It's amazing how far apart, even though they seem close, Asheville and Atlanta are. And the chances of snow are a little bit less for Atlanta over the next week, but they're not zero.
Yeah.
They're not
People
zero.
that are disappointed by that.
Yeah.
But snow in the south is a nice novelty sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be cold, it might as well snow.
Yeah.
Might as well have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the kiddos down here, actually some grown-ups I've been hearing from too, they say, hey, how about a little snow? And honestly, differences between an Asheville and the highest of elevations of North Carolina. You can see that here on our two forecast models. Very little, even in the western North Carolina cities. It's the high spots that get the snow.
But don't fear, just because the latest models don't show snow farther south doesn't mean that can't change, because the models are flip-flopping, windshield wipering from one run to the next. Could they change back to snow?
All right, we're going to analyze those models coming up and show you the differences and what may play out here in the coming days. But appreciate you staying with us here on Weather Unfiltered. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. Of course, Dr. Rick Knabb, our expert and resident snow lover, here to hopefully get your hopes up. I know you're like, well, you know, I guess if we've got to see it a little bit, it's manageable.
I love winter.
Yeah. Remember, he's doing his New Year's
He's
resolution.
gritting his teeth.
Speaking of loving winter, let's
Nothing
go to,
but smiles.
Let's go to Lake Placid,
Yeah.
New York.